Hey everybody, welcome back to Ballymullin Farm. For those watching for the first time, I'm Lance. So I farm here with my wife Claire and our kids. So we're a dairy farm in Taranaki, New Zealand. I am going to be doing some more undersowing. So I've done an undersowing video earlier on in winter time. So as part of our regen journey into regen dairy farming, we are trying to get some more diverse species into our pastures. So going to be doing some undersowing here again today with once again using oats, daikon radish, some vetch, some chicory and some plantain. So still waiting to see the results from the paddock that I did first. So what actually happened, that paddock, we've had such amazing growth this spring that the existing pasture there grew so much faster than I expected it to. So we had a really good strike with the oats, and the vetch did particularly well. And the radish, we had a really good strike as well, but then the rest of the grass just grew so fast that after a while it was hard to get in there and find them. So I've actually just grazed that paddock a couple of days ago, so it'll be really interesting now to see it come back and see how those plants do. I purposely haven't grazed it very low so that you know, they weren't really eating down into that low stuff where those small plants are. Still, yeah, digging around in the grass there as the cows were in the paddock, I could still find plenty of vetch and oats and radish and stuff. The chicory and plantain, being so small, is a little bit hard at this stage to find. And I was talking to Greg Barclay, who's our farm advisor with Soil Connection. He's a guru, amazing specialist with regen farming. Just talking to him yesterday, and he was saying the chicory and plantain we'll likely see in autumn. So it'll just suddenly, he said one day you'll just realise suddenly it'll just take off, and it's just suddenly there when you think it hasn't worked. So the reason I chose to do this paddock, so we had some seed left from doing the other one that we didn't quite use, and this paddock is the last one that our springers grazed. When we had enough springers for a whole paddock, they just sort of, the last sort of half a dozen are just hanging around in any spot where there's a bit of spare grass at the moment. So yeah, this paddock has just, yeah, fairly recently been chewed right out, so it's nice and short, and there's a fair bit of open stuff in there, so I reckon lots of opportunities to get these species into it. Just had a little bit of rain yesterday, so it's not damp or anything, sorry, it's not wet or muddy or sticky, but it's damp, so I reckon perfect conditions for trying to get seed in. It's nice and warm as well. We've had pretty amazingly warm spring so far, so hopefully it'll have a really good start. Also this paddock, when we grazed it, so I'd had it shut for a while, obviously over winter and stuff, and when we grazed it, there was a lot of cocksfoot in here and a lot of red clover in here, so I thought awesome opportunity to get some more species into this paddock. You know, it's already got a start there, that it's not just white clover and ryegrass, so you know, that'll take, if we chuck in another, what are we putting in, another 5 species, that'll be, you know, 7, 8, 10 species in this paddock, which is going to be awesome. So I'll just flip the camera around here and show you. So lots of open spaces like this, you know, and there's plenty of other little herbs and stuff growing there, which are all awesome things for the cows to chew on, and bits of, you know, wild plantain and stuff. But real good opportunity while it's short and while there's this open stuff to get grass into it, or get other pasture species into it, I should say. Also, we've had a really amazing winter and spring. We've really made very little mud at all. What we have made, I'd almost not call mud because it's so small, but there was, you know, the odd wet day when they were in this paddock, so there's the odd area that's had a bit of sort of pugging damage, you know, really light pugging damage, so I think running the drill through those will actually just help, and just more more than anything, just knock the lumps off. So when you're riding the motorbike or the tractor across the paddock, it just lessens some of that roughness from those areas. So yeah, what else should I say? Oh, I've using the same seeds as last time. So I said, yeah, what did I say? Oats, vetch, daikon, radish, chicory and plantain. I've used the same sowing rates apart from the daikon radish, which I've increased. So I've actually doubled it. I just think it's a little bit of, you know, one of those things you just got to trial and error, and you'll work out sort of a sweet spot. And I just thought when it germinated in the other paddock, it could have been a little bit heavier. So I thought, well, I had the seed, I'll double it in this paddock and see, you know, we might get a paddock of just radish. So I may regret it, but no, I won't regret it. It's really good food, and you know, that tap root and stuff is really important with, you know, opening up the soil and getting down to you know, deeper nutrients and deeper water and stuff. And actually this paddock up towards the top end is an area that we quite often get a few Californian thistles, and one of the big things with them is they tend to grow where you know, the ground's compacted. So I'm sort of hoping, you know, those daikon radishes might actually break that up a little bit and help, you know, get they say if you'll break that up, there's not really a reason for the Californian thistles to be there. So what they're doing is they've got a big long tap root on them, and they're actually trying to break that soil up and you know, so that the rest of your pasture can get access to those nutrients and that water further down, and to let water get away. So hoping if we sort of put a plant in their place that will do the same job, it will, you know, gradually get rid of them. But yeah, I'll jump on the tractor and get into it. I'll just turn around and show you. I'm using my 65 today instead of the FE35, just giving it a run, and I quite like to, I've got all these tractors, it's good to be able to give them a different job every now and then. This one has been on our calf tank all year, so not all year, sorry, all spring, and it's just recently started putting a little bit of puffing a little bit of oil out of the exhaust, and I just think maybe it might be sort of getting glazed bores, which does happen a bit with tractors, especially diesel tractors, if they're sitting around just idling a lot. So as well as talking about the seed rates before, I've also screwed the actuator gates back a little bit on the overall seeding rate. So if you've watched the other video, you'll see in the Ferguson handbook there's a thing in there that it tells you how to work out or calibrate the seed drill for using like a diverse seed mix. And so I followed the instructions for that, but I found that it was actually going on a little bit too heavy. And I think the reason for that is, so in it allows for, there's a calculation depending on how many seeds are in your mix. So I used that calculation, but when I was thinking about it afterwards, there's a really huge difference in the size of a chicory or plantain seed compared to like a vetch or an oat seed. So what I've actually done this time is just calibrated it just for the oats, because that's the biggest seed in there, and I feel that will actually work quite well overall. So yeah, I'm going to try that this time, and if I find that that's, say, underseeding, and I get finished with more seed than I feel like I should do, then, you know, I'll open it up a little bit next time, but that's what I'm going to try anyway. Awesome guys, that went really well. All finished now. I'm just going to head back and run the Cambridge roller over it quickly before milking. Yeah, no, the drill went great as always, and really enjoyed using the 65 to pull it actually. That little bit of extra power really helped me actually go a little bit faster than with the 35. I think the regulator setting was still just a little bit too high. I ran out of seed just before the end. Not really enough that it would matter, but it would have been good to got the whole paddock done, and I think I actually put slightly more seed in than needed, so I was actually expecting to have a little bit left, but that's right, it sort of happens. Something I was thinking on while I was driving around and around that I should say, you know, if you're share milking or contract milking and that sort of thing, and you always think, you know, it'd be great to have a small seed drill for, you know, going around and tidying up the farm after calving, pugged areas and that sort of stuff. But looking at second-hand ones, they're always too expensive, the sort of type, you know, the modern ones. Look out for a Fergie one if it ever comes up on the market, because you'll probably get one sort of between, I think I paid $400 for mine, but you know, you might be between 400 and say 1,000, 1,200. They do a great job. I reckon easily it's equivalent of, you know, equivalent of the modern little, you know, seed drills that are 3-point linkage mounted, and they probably sell for, I don't know, between 15 and 20,000. So it's really hard actually to believe that they were an implement that was designed in the 1940s. The job that they still do, they do so well. But anyway, thanks heaps for watching. Really appreciate it as always. If you've got comments, questions or anything, pop them in, or if you haven't already subscribed, get in there and do it. But yeah, thanks heaps for the watch, and we'll see you next time.